All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise and glory unto you. How about Shema Shabbat Shem Rakakodash? Double honors to the apostle elders of great millstone. Shalom on to the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and truth. Yeah, I just want to do this lesson on. Never forget, for 2 years, tyrants locked us down, forcibly medicated us, and destroyed our livelihoods. And that's 100% accurate. A lot of people didn't understand the severity of what those lockdowns and what the C-19 and the various strains have done unto the world. It gave these different, like they call them tyrants, or different administrators of the government, power. It empowered them to forcibly lock you down, forcibly medicate you, to give past legislation and things of that nature, speaking about yanking you out of your households and giving you that jab, man. And I seen something where somebody posted that the biggest elephant in the room is the unjabbed aren't even dying, man. You see? So that whole thing where they pushed out this propaganda of basically, the C-19. And don't get it wrong, I'm not saying it personally that it was not a sickness in existence, but Esau, we know how understand the concept of pressure from above, pressure from below, ordo ap ko. Those old ancient, and it's not really ancient, new world order dystopian tactics of strategy to keep the masses in line. They're still practiced on to this day, man. Esau deals with strategy, man. The scriptures speak about how he was more subtle than any beast of the field. When the devil, the serpent, went and beguiled Eve, he used strategy. He didn't just go and tell her, take a bite of this, which we know the bite is not talking about literally an apple, but take a, like when people say taking a bite out of life, take a try of this, hey, actually, indulge in this. No, he gave Eve a certain pep talk. You shall not die, which we understand that the so-called, which is never even recorded as an apple, but in terms of being in the Garden of Eden, Eve being seduced, about the tree, it speaks about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which that represents the philosophies, the way of living, conducting themselves. The serpent beguiled Eve to basically go out of her, out of her natural spiritual means. You see? Because the Most High had barricaded basically Adam and Eve from the ways of wickedness, and that's why when they actually indulged in that, which they transgressed because they stepped over the law of the Lord, that was really like one of the first established laws to not do so. And when they did so, they transgressed that law that the Most High orally commanded them not to do, and from then, of course, the world, was on a frenzy, proceeding forward. So fast forward on to this day, we see the same devil. It tells you in the book of Revelation, the same serpent and devil is Satan. He's still pushing tactics to put, predominantly our people, the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And really, it's not even a so-called black, Latino, and Native American thing only with the so-called white men. They're putting so-called white people in the bunch. Their own white-on-white crime is a thing. They're putting the so-called Asiatics and these different Arabs and stuff. They're putting everybody at the, under the foot of this NWO. But it says on March 16, 2020, the Trump administration released a 15-day plan to slow the spread of the virus 19 in the U.S. We're now 2 years, 2 presidents, $8 trillion, countless stolen rights, and a decimated economy past that day, and we have absolutely nothing to show for it but a laundry list of corruption and deadly mistakes. Yeah, enforceable jabs. You got certain individuals with all these different boosters in them, boosting like it's the new dope, legal dope. You see? And then you see it's not even talked about heavily in the news, and you still got most people walking around with face masks. They're mentally traumatized from this whole ordeal that the government has put in. You see? And you had certain operations, I think it's Operation Cold Winter. It's something to roughly it's around that term dark winter or something like that. But it was a simulation. If a aggressive virus would have hit the planet, would the masses or the administration be prepared? And we know that this devil, he pushes a lot of these different viruses out, man. For what? Population control and things of that nature. Not saying that all these viruses aren't really just sprung up, because infections and viruses do take place in the earth, naturally. But we understand that this man has a plan, and part of his plan is to push the boogeyman, whether it's the virus, whether it's terrorists, to actually enforce certain lockdowns. Because after 9/11, they pushed that boogeyman spirit, and they made it where all American citizens were basically classified as terrorists. So it says now they're trying to do it again after Biden extended the mask mandate, and other municipalities are taking 5 steps back. Fauci appeared on MSNBC this week and let the truth about lockdown slip. After he praised the horrifying measures taken by China this month, Fauci implied that lockdowns are theater designed to scare people into getting jabbed. And that's the truth. It says China has a number of problems, 2 of which are that the complete knockdown, which was their approach, a strictest lockdown you never be able to implement in the U.S., although that prevents the spread of the infection. I remember early on they were saying, and I think accurately, they were doing better than anyone else. After claiming that locking people in their homes, killing their pets, and starving millions was better than anyone else, Fauci went on to make a telling admission. You use lockdowns to get people jabbed so that when you open up, you won't have a surge of infection. Right, so they use those different lockdowns, and they use this virus as a ploy and a means to push government aggression. All right. Like I said, this is a dystopian future that we live in, and you watch these different movies, and I love those type of movies, dystopian based movies, end of the world. You have like Hunger Games and things of that nature, somewhat post-apocalyptic movies, and it's all pertaining to what? Government totalitarian control, man. Where the government is not letting up on the necks of the citizens, and the citizens are so dirt poor and broken down that they don't really have the ability to flex their muscle, because they don't have no power, they don't have no muscle. All right, they have to go to the administration, and they have to whether petitioning and things of that nature in order to get certain bills signed in their favor. And this place is not for the favor of you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Micah, the 2nd chapter and the 10th verse, told us that this is our rest, man. So this is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, which represents destruction, to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. And not just a little bit of wrath. He's coming with a great aggressive wrath. And see, he hasn't even opened the levees yet, man. He's still test running. He's still trial running in a city and state near you, just to see what's the most aggressive states, what's the easiest places to lock down, where are we gonna have to set up and place the most troops. All right, where are we gonna have to really hunker down on? Because that virus showed, of course, we know the red states and the blue states, but it showed the more passive states, it showed the more aggressive states, it showed what governors are down with the plans, what state governors are they're gonna have to make some adjustments to, you see? Because even though we live in a so-called democracy, we understand that these devils work through the spirit of an optical illusion. They make people feel like the freedom to vote is actually freedom. All right, you vote, and your vote is thrown in a trash can, and they select who they want to be in that office to push their plans, man. And if the individual doesn't push it, then they're going to remove him and put somebody else in the power. Like I said, it's about absolute control. All right. And that's why I said that the devil is coming down with that great wrath, because he know if they have but a short time. Yeah, these devils know prophecy, man. They go into the Bible. They go into the statements, passages. They understand last days. They have doomsday clocks. They have analytics and study. They study. Scripture says they're wiser than Daniel, man. They pump out billions of dollars to recognize the future. What's the next imminent threat? Will it be the resources that's gonna bottom out? Will it be the actual leaders of China, Russia, as well as other countries? Will it be a uprising? And all these things are recorded in the scriptures. Second Ezra the 15th chapter, Second Ezra the 16th chapter. You know, all throughout Revelations, Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. All right. So these devils inscribe these writings, and it's grievous unto the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, it's not to benefit. Some people benefit from it, but it's the top, the super rich. All right. Whenever these policies and legislations is passed, a lot of these people in these administrations, they hang with the rich. So their favor is going to be towards the super rich. You know, they might get a little tax here and there. You know, and people look at it like, oh shit, we finally got to tax the rich a certain percentage, yada yada yada. That ain't doing nothing, man. The little bit that these couple extra pennies, you know, and they're to the world's view is millions, hundreds of millions that the tax, you know, but this being dispensed onto billions of people, that's not that's not cutting it, man. But like I said, it's just that illusion where people are believing, all right, if we keep doing this in the next 5 years, we'll have our minimum wage up. We'll be able, you know. Meanwhile, everything is increasing dramatically above you, and you don't even have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, man. You know, and this devil allows you to drive around in the cities. He allows you to do these different things, man. You know, he gives you lead. That's why you have to have license, man. You know. And if you act up and you try to push and go against the grain, you know, and fight against the society and this place that's established, they're gonna put you down, man. You know, try to revolt, you know, or be a renegade of the state, you know. And see, we don't push that energy like these little so-called black terrorists, man, Negro terrorists. You know, that's looking to go to subway trains and just that's a low spirit, man. The Lord spoke about our fight being spiritual, man, to the pulling down of strongholds. You see, so we have to prophesy the downfall of America and predominantly expose it. You know, scriptures speak about make bare the leg, lift the thigh. You know, matter of fact, I'm gonna close with that. I had 2 Ezra 15, but that's a good one because it goes into the end. But I could save that for another lesson. But I do want to get that Isaiah 47 chapter because that's the job, man. You know, the job is to bring out every little thing, these scandals and these involvements that the society is in. Like this. This was a major scandal, man. You see, this is something a plan that allowed nations to grab billions. Yeah, it was a lot of things that they actually lost. But see, they deal with chaotic events and they'll take a $1 billion blowback, you know, for more control. It's not about numbers, man. See, people get caught up in these digital numbers and they'll think, damn, the government could have did that. Did you know that they lost this and they lost that? You know, they had to shut down these different major facilities and the airlines took a hit. They would never go through. But do you know how much control that they got out of the deal? You see? Where they have the ability to push you and put you and lock you down, you know, put you on curfews. And really, like I said, they gain that power to see how passive that you are, you know. And to show, you know, because if there's another lockdown and everybody has to be in the houses, most people are going to react like, shit, we already did it before. It ain't nothing like we ain't did it already. The first lockdowns, most people was a little, man, this some bullshit, man. Look, y'all gonna follow that lockdown? I ain't following that lockdown, you know. But then they had it where your ass gonna get fined, you know, if you don't follow lockdown, if it's not for actually, actual, what do they call it in the news? If you're not an essential worker, you know, that they're gonna, they're gonna put put the whipping on you. So now people are in a state of like, all right, well, that's just lockdowns. We already know protocol. Keep your ass in the house. Yeah, see, that's part of Esau, you know, snaking his way into that rulership.
Because he has a level of rulership, but it tells you that in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, how he wants to harvest your soul. And it's mainly through that, that chipper, man. That chip off the old block. He wants to chip you, stab you with that device. And even that device in itself, it has intelligence in it, man. That device is a demon in itself because it registers pulses. It learns you, man. It's not just any little prick, like in the ancient world, you could, say that they would put an awl. It's not an awl, man. It's likened unto an awl, but this is a new revised awl, 10 times more demonic. AI being inserted in you. So it says, take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Yeah, and see, the scriptures speak about this devil starting to do his thing for a said time. But when he eventually tries to get his shit off, the Most High is going to slap it, It's just like a buzzer beater. Everything is on lockdown, and Esau's trying to get that last shot. They going to, coming aggressively to the rim and they get their shit blocked, or they get, get a steal, whatnot, Esau coming up court. It's only a few seconds left and they got the ball stole, or it's going to be a turnover, man, a turn of events, Because, see, this devil has a pseudo kingdom. He has a kingdom that people believe is the new revised Eden, when this is hell, and the Lord is going to show this thing as hell as times progress, pestilence, famine, more government lockdowns, more aggression from this so-called white man in these heathen nations, forcing you, to administer unto their plans. They have a plan and they have a stage that they're trying to set, and it's going to be a get down and lay down thing. See, they're giving you the ability to choose to go get stabbed or not in certain places, but it's getting to the point where if you ain't get stabbed, you ain't coming here, man. And it's going to get to the point where, all right, well, the ones that didn't do and were compliant, all right, we got your number and we're going to take it there to you in due time. Biden said that in a few, even with the PPP. So these devils are looking to take it there. They got wolves, man, on the streets. They got individuals that have the ability to get aggressive, and they're going to push that troops, that the scriptures speak about all coming for violence. This devil is finna get really, really violent, man. And that's why we have to be in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai and pray that the Lord keeps his holy angels around us, because the times that we're living in is going to be like a time that we're never seen before. So I didn't want to have it too long. Hopefully, brothers will edify. I'm going to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostle and others, a great millstone. Shalom Akim.